There we go. I'm a stand-up paddler, a kiteboard instructor, and a surfer. So this will be your lesson in stand-up paddleboarding, kiteboarding, and surfing. My sister took that picture on the right. That's up by government camp. And Levi took this one on the left. That's me commuting to work. The two ladies up here are Neezy and Hipsy. Neezy and Hipsy are your friends. When you go paddleboarding, take Neezy and Hipsy with you. Look at how much fun they're having. If they're in conjunction with one another, you're going to have a good time paddleboarding like Hob, Tom, and Lee Ray. Otherwise, it's going to cost you $175 for 90 minutes of a paddleboard lesson. That's the Hamptons. Ouch. This is the Pamlico Sound. Notice the form that my cousin Steve has. Good straight arms with the paddles. And his boys Sam and Harry and Willie's up ahead. So we're also going to see another picture of kiteboarding on the Pamlico Sound in a little bit. But when I got into, this is Zach, Hatteras Island. So the most important thing in kiteboarding, he's flying a trainer kite. He's got the wind at his back. So whenever you guys go kiteboarding, know exactly where the wind is coming from. Divide it in half. Point yourself directly downwind. Every photograph of kiting that you'll ever see will make sense to you if you understand where the wind is coming from. You can see the flags. You can see my old boss, John Pereira, at the New York Kite Center, top left. Sean in the boat about to launch this gold kite. And if you look at kiteboarding and if you look at a kiting picture, you can understand what's happening if you understand where the wind is coming from. Kiteboarder down by the rock, about to launch his kite. This is in Stevenson, Washington, at the port. His friend is launching the kite for him. That blue kite is at the corner of the wind, the very edge of where the wind will not be available. If it were more to the right, it would fall out of the sky. If you become a kiteboarder, beware. You're going to need a lot of gear. The kite is a Rebel 7-meter kite. There's a slingshot surfing kiteboard. There's a Tronic Cabrina twin tip, the pump, bar and lines, and a harness. And it doesn't stop there. There's so much to the sport. And by the way, this is a photograph from the Triple S, also on the Pamlico Sound, that same stretch of water that the paddleboarders were paddling on. This is an invitational tournament. Learn to kite, get really good, throw down some big tricks, put your video, send it off to Real Kiteboarding, and they'll either pick you or not. This is Luke Vexler. He's a stuntman in New York. This is his third day kiteboarding ever, riding toe side. He's like, I'm bragging here. He's my project. He learned to kiteboard in 20 minutes. The kid can do anything. This is Violet taking her first surf lesson. Now, what I didn't tell Violet was she's going to have to suffer a lifetime of looking for surf, thinking about waves, thinking what the ocean's like somewhere else. Because I just sort of pushed her into her first couple of waves, and she came back like smiling. This is out at Ecola. And this is what my life used to be like. Strap the boards on the car, and go find surf somewhere. That's Park Avenue, New York City. I moved out to Portland like a month ago. Thankfully, I don't know why I didn't do it years ago. So the search, looking for surf. Even when you get to the ocean, you stand there and you agonize over whether you're in the right spot, because 20 miles down the road, the waves could be setting up a little bit better for you. So some of the things you got to think about when you become a surfer are what is the swell going to be like? What's the size of the swell direction, the wind direction, and all of that's on the right side here. The dude on the left was carried down to Narragansett Beach by his buddies. They put him on his board. He paddled out and just killed it in the lineup. He was just amazing. And you could see there's some beautiful rights in the background. So swell size. Well, down in Puerto Rico at Wilderness last year, someone was mean enough to leave her best friend on the beach while she went out for a surf session. And this is the kind of thing that surfing does to you. It's going to do it to Violet, and it's done it to me. You just kind of pack up, and you got to go. Now, Neezy and Hipsy, think about them. You're balancing your board left to right. So the most important thing, Jack's looking for a wave. But it's too big for him. You got to be safe out there. So he didn't paddle out on this particular occasion. Maybe he'll find a wave later on. I'm not sure. But remember Neezy and Hipsy, they're balancing your board from the left to the right because the board's going to pitch and it's going to yaw. So as you're thinking and watching these slides, finally found some surf. That's Montauk, Ditch Plains. So as you're thinking about just what you're doing when you're a surfer, you've got this buoyant board, and it's on the water, and you're on top of it. Now, if it was a stand-up paddle, you'd rock back and forth to balance that board. But in surfing, you're going to rock a little bit, but the most important thing is to find the balance point of that board so it's completely flat with you on top of it. And you get to go to places like this and surf lefts like that. So moving along, we're still wondering whether Jack's going to find himself a wave. He could go to Pacific City, but it may be a little bit too big. Those are 6 feet tall people, and you can see that wave in the background. It's a little bit taller than 6 feet. Too big for Jack on this particular occasion. Every now and then you get lucky, and your friends bring a camera, and they actually take a picture of you surfing. It's happened twice in my life, and this happened to be like one of the best waves I ever caught. So also in Hatteras, on a particular day when basically everyone from Virginia Beach and all the surfers from Florida came to Hatteras to catch waves like this. And it's a good feeling. Oh, Jack finally caught himself a wave. Ecola State Park, that's his dad, Brett. Sometimes toe-in surfing is the only way to go. So I wish you guys a lifetime of good surfing and stand-up paddling, and happy kiting too.